Good evening, welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Subhajon Klinsuwan. Since yesterday, people from across the nation have been pouring into the Tung Makham Yong area of Ayutthaya province to witness His Majesty the King revisiting his royally initiated Monkey Chic project or gambling to see how his project is performing after the entire area of Ayutthaya province was inundated by last year's flood. For many Thais, today was a truly joyful moment seeing their beloved king being able to make a trip outside Bangkok after staying at Sirirat Hospital for the past 5 years. For days now, people from all over the country have been coming to reserve their seats at Tung Makham Yong in Ayutthaya province to see His Majesty King Bhumibol, Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, and other royal family members during His Majesty's first trip out of Bangkok in years. Despite the huge crowds, people continue to arrive in Tung Makham Yong as they know that seeing their king will be one of the most precious moments of their lives. His Majesty intends to revisit his royally initiated water retention project at Tung Makham Yong, as well as to worship Somdet Phra Sri Suryodhai Monument, which is located in the area. The last visit by the king to Tung Makham Yong was back in May the 14th, 1996, also to survey his Monkey Chic project following another severe flood in 1995. During his previous visit, His Majesty harvested rice stalks from this area, which became an iconic image for all Thais. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra, on behalf of the Shinawatra family, has donated the 7-rai plot of land from which the king harvested rice in 1996 to His Majesty the King. Vittaya Phewphong, Ayutthaya governor, also asked for the king's approval to place the sickle used by His Majesty in 1996 at his statue at Tung Hantra in Ayutthaya province. His Majesty has been staying at Sirirat Hospital for the last 5 years to recover from ill health. But this month, people across the kingdom are delighted to see their beloved king being able to travel once again. Before going back to Bangkok, His Majesty went to watch a traditional performing celebrating His Royal Grace in initiating the Monkey Chic project here at the Tung Makham Yong area, while also another astonishing performance was the elephant fight to show Thais how their ancestors devoted their lives to preserving this land for the younger generation. Following His Majesty's visit to Tung Makham Yong to follow up on flood retention projects, our water gurus, Associate Professor Seri Suparatit and Kun Darin Klong Akara, will now explain why Ayutthaya province is so vulnerable to floods and how authorities can and should prevent future floods in the climate.
Today, His Majesty the King comes to Ayutthaya province to follow up the water management in this province. And Ayutthaya province has 2 royal initiate retention basin to mitigate the floods in this area. So we will follow up what is happening here.
Yes.
So Seri, so how is work for the retention basin to clear the floods in this area?
Yeah, okay. First of all, I think that the Thai people should know that Ayutthaya province is very vulnerable to flood.
Yeah.
As last year flood, you see, the blue shade is the inundation area.
Yes.
The amount of the flood volume is about 13,000 million cubic meter.
Yeah.
So
that's huge.
Yeah, that's huge, and that's why I say that it is very vulnerable.
Yeah.
So this area is one of the pilot project from Royal Initiates retention basins, as you mentioned. So we announced in the basins of we call is Phu Khao Thong Bang Pahan retention basins.
Yes.
So this Tung Makham Yong is one of the basin in that large basin. So that's why His Majesty the King do it for the pilot, for example, for the people.
So the 2 retention basin is the pilot projects.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's why every Thai people should do.
Yes.
Because of if you cannot retain the water will flow to the Bangkok city.
Like last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. In addition, you see this is Tung Makham Yong here.
Yes.
The Ayutthaya province itself have to protect itself also by construction a border, and also this is the This is a dike.
Dike, yeah.
Around Ayutthaya. The dike is now is increased from the last year. It's about at least about 1.5 meter.
Yes.
You see, that's why even the detention basin alone cannot fulfill the objective of flood mitigation.
Yes.
We have to do many alternatives. This is one of the alternatives that Ayutthaya province do it.
And do you think what is the problem for flood management for this year?
Yeah, the farmers or the people ask a lot of questions about their house are located in the retention basin or not. They ask. So they want to know that how we can manage because after the flood volume pass in the beginning of the next year, they want to start plant the lines. So how they manage, and then how the government will compensate them. This is not clearly understand for them.
So they still wait for,
they still wait
for the clearness for this situation.
Yes,
Thank you very much, Dr. Seri. That is the follow-up for the flood situation in Ayutthaya province and also for the country that we have to wait and see for more information from now on.
Thank you, Kundarin, and of course, thank you, Professor Seri. The Meteorological Department is warning residents in mountainous areas to watch out for possible flash floods, while local officials in Nan province conducted a landslide evacuation drill today. All 403 villages in 15 districts of Nan province, which are considered flash flood risk-prone areas, participated in a flash flood and landslide evacuation drill today. Many areas in the north and south near mountainous areas are at risk of landslides and flash floods, especially from now through Sunday. Local residents were asked to practice running out of their houses and taking a head count in case a real landslide hits their village. Rescue units and volunteers also joined the practice. Meanwhile, in Phichit province, at least 18 houses were destroyed and one 73-year-old man died following a summer storm which hit the area yesterday. In Nakhon Ratchasima province, the flood drainage system, which will help ease the floods in the lower northeastern region, is not yet complete. However, it will be partially operational in August this year and fully up and running by 2015. Moving on to politics, the Deputy House Speaker insists that the debate on the reconciliation bill will be held in the next Legislative Assembly. Meanwhile, the opposition chief whip claims that speeding up the reconciliation bill by the government may be with the intent to grant amnesty for former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, which he believes will trigger another national conflict. After Deputy Prime Minister Chalermyu Bamrung insisted that the government will push forward the reconciliation bill, and General Sonthi Bunyarakalin, as chairman of the Reconciliation Committee, will propose the bill to the Legislative Assembly of the House meeting. The opposition chief whip claims that the government intends to speed up the reconciliation bill to grant amnesty to Thaksin Shinawatra. Jaren Jankomon, Deputy House Speaker, indicated that the reconciliation bill will be on the list for debate in the House meeting next Wednesday and Thursday, but it will be up to that meeting to consider whether the bill should be debated as an urgent issue or not. Meanwhile, Udomdet Ratanasathian, government chief whip, indicated that he is not sure that the meeting will agree to consider the reconciliation bill next week. Additionally, the reconciliation bill proposed by General Sonthi, a former coup leader himself, includes the amnesty for all methodology for those involved in political conflicts, as well as lifting the political bans of the executives of any party which has been dissolved. The National Counter-Corruption Commission organized a seminar themed Preventing Corruption Through Implemented Public Policy. The head of the Privy Council was the keynote speaker and said that fighting corruption is everyone's duty.
Head of the Privy Council and statesman General Prem Tinasulanon told the seminar that corruption is like a disease which exists in many societies but cannot be totally eradicated. However, he reiterated that it's everyone's duty to prevent acts of corruption, as well as help eliminate the corrupt from society. He also took the opportunity to warn the corrupt, who exist in many occupations, that their bad reputation and shame will live with their descendants long after they die. The main purpose of the meeting, hosted by the National Counter-Corruption Commission, is to provide a public stage for everyone attending to help in seeking ways to prevent public assets, such as taxpayers' money, from being used for political benefit. Hugh Adams, ThaiPBS.
Thank you, Hugh. The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration is asking Bangkok residents who see the new city planning as a threat to their livelihoods or would like to make further suggestions to raise their hands and step forward within the next 90 days. The BMA City Planning Office called a meeting of City Hall's staff based in 50 Bangkok districts. This plan is a third version of its kind, and according to Walop Suwandi, Deputy Bangkok Governor, the plan aims to create a better quality of life and increase safety for Bangkok residents, as well as make the best use of public land. The plan will develop more green areas, planting trees across the capital, especially along the railway lines. However, the law requires that the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration seek public opinion on the changes to city planning over the next 90 days or until August the 21st. For more information and details of the city planning, residents are encouraged to visit worldwideweb.cpd.bangkok.go.th. The Ministry of Information and Communications Technology has been unable to inspect the 2,000 tablet PC samples sent by Shenzhen Scope because their required insurance documents were not present. Meanwhile, rumors about the government receiving an incomplete number of ordered tablets have been shot down after the inspection confirmed that exactly 2,000 devices were delivered. In absence of insurance documents as required in the procurement contract, the ICT Ministry was unable to go ahead with its inspection of the 2,000 computer tablets, which were delivered by Shenzhen Scope Scientific Development earlier this week. Somboon Mek Phaiboon Watana, chairman of the Tablet PC's Investigation Committee, revealed that the quality assessment will be divided into 12 steps. One of the steps is to random selection of 10 samples, which will be shaken in a bag filled with iron pieces as a way to inspect that their parts are suitably robust. Only software and exterior inspections will be carried out on the remaining 1,990 tablets. The inspections were planned to be completed by May the 27th so that the Chinese supplier can begin delivery of the first shipment of the 400,000 tablet PCs. The 6 countries that share the Mekong River Basin are geographically bound together, but immigration, drugs, and military conflicts along the boundaries are major obstacles to enhancing cooperation between the Greater Mekong Subregion or GMS countries. Meanwhile, youths representing each GMS country have gathered in Thailand to hold debates and discussions as they believe that the young generation can create change for the better. Here's more from Kangon Raktam.
The Thai and Chinese governments jointly agreed to launch a student exchange program between the 6 countries of the Mekong River Basin, including Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam, and China. Each country is sending 10 students aged from 18 to 30 years old, as well as a youth leader, to represent each nation and to present their ideas and opinions about the 5 major issues affecting them: the environment, culture, education, the economies, and society. While the Daily News headlines seem to be about the conflicts among the political leaders of the GMS countries and the leaders of the many ethnic minority groups along the borders, the youth in this program believe that the solution is to be found through cooperation. All 6 countries have a wide range of cultures and languages, but education and a shared understanding of English have to become the common link between all involved.
Such as we can have some student exchange project, we can set up some English training project, things like that, to work together.
Apart from culture, language, and education, the subject of the environment, especially water management, is another hot issue among the youth from countries that share the same major water source, the Mekong River.
From discussion, we think especially about the water management. Sometimes it's so hard and it's so complicated that to progress or to stop in some mega project. But the thing that maybe can compromise between the youth people is maybe we can share the benefit in each countries. And also the second thing, maybe not just only the government section, it should be us. What we should gonna do? We can do something by ourselves, such as we do fundraising together, and then we got the money, and after that we do some action together.
Most important things for China to do is the things for the other country to do is to cooperation, to help each other.
Furthermore, an economic student from Laos commented that everyone has to become more international in an effort to understand people from other parts of the world while still preserving some traditions.
การเข้าวัดเข้าวาเนาะเพิ่นจะยังใส่สิ้นที่เป็นเอกลักษณ์ของชาติลาวเนาะ
He says that despite having been flooded by Western and Korean culture, Laos teenagers still wear a wrap around skirt or pasin as they have for generations. GMS countries still suffer many conflicts which are not yet being solved, and the governments seem to be the only authorities with the decision-making power. But the youth in this program believe that if they want a change, it must begin with them. การกรรักธรรม Thai PBS.
Thank you, Kun Kanklon. And that's all the time we have for tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. We'll see you again Monday night. Until then, good night and สวัสดีครับ